When you made and Bill, what's going on, Terrence? Oh, right. My problem, back and forth. So we go my problem, back and forth. So, the sons. Yeah, he was sharp too. That really. But they helped me so much. Yeah.
Commissioner Baker McCormick.
Here.
Commissioner Marecki.
Here.
Commissioner Clementi.
Here.
Commissioner Anderson.
Present.
Vice Chair Baydun.
Here.
Chair Kinlock.
Present.
We have a quorum present.
Thank you. Next item.
Item B, Chair.
I'd like to remind the committee members that there is or will be a Ways and Means meeting on the 30th, April 30th. That's our equalization meeting that we have recessed to. That Ways and Means meeting will be held at 11 o'clock, 11 a.m. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Item C, approve the minutes from the April 9th, 2026 meeting.
So moved.
It's been moved. Is there support? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, this item stands approved. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Moving to item D, unfinished business. There is none listed. We're going to E, new business. Number 1. Order from the Wayne County Commission meeting held on April 14, 2026, an amendment to Chapter 29 of the Wayne County Code of Ordinances and Road Ordinance Number 89-951.
Motion is in order.
So moved.
Is there support? Moved and supported. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I'm sorry,
Okay.
is that support by Commissioner Clementi? Thank you.
Yes.
That was still on one,
Oh, yes, yes, somewhat. Yes,
one,
yes.
okay.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying, say aye. Aye. Any abstention?
I'll abstain.
Okay, one abstention. Okay. Okay, next item, Madam Clerk.
We're going to move to the addenda, item number 3. Requesting commission approval of the 2026 Wayne County Equalization Report.
Okay, Scott. Yep, thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair and committee members.
Good afternoon.
Scott Van Emergel, Director of Assessment and Equalization for Wayne County. What you have before you is the 2026 Equalization Report, which is a report and recommendation of the 2026 equalized values and taxable values based on equalized values to the Wayne County Commission. It's our recommendation that all classes of property be equalized with a factor of 1.0, which simply means that we would request and recommend that the commission does not need to add or subtract any valuation from the local assessment rolls. In other words, nobody messed up when there's an error, a fundamental error in the assessing area at the local level. That's when the commission would need to step in and add or subtract value. Fortunately, that has not happened at the local level for this year. As with the past number of years, I'm happy to be the bearer of good news. The real estate market and tax base are very strong. The assessed value side of things, which corresponds to the market value, is up 4.86%. And the number happens to be the same number, but the taxable value or tax base for the county is also up by the same percentage increase, 4.86%. So another stellar year. The inflation rate was 2.7, the inflation rate used for the CPI calculation. In other contexts, it may be a different number, but the state's published CPI number is 2.7%. So we're at about 4.9. CPI was 2.7, so we met and exceeded the rate of inflation. So in other words, the county is entitled to grow its tax base by at least the rate of inflation plus new development and not over demolitions, things like that. Just those couple highlights. I won't be terribly verbose on things. And then the taxable value increase, which might be another question that I typically am asked by this committee and others, is what does that equate to with actual new taxes or tax increase? It's about $21.9 million in additional taxes for the county. So we get an increase in our paycheck by 4.86% as far as the growing of the county's tax base and what that amounts to in taxes.
The great news, great news as it has been in the recent years, and so you will be at full board for our equalization meeting and pretty much inform the members of the commission as well as the general public who will be in attendance as well. And so I will ask if there's any questions. And right now, Commissioner Baydun.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Scott, 4.86% increase. in the taxable value, this includes the inflation multiplier, which was this year 2.7%.
Yes,
And the other almost 2 point some percent would be the uncapping of properties, new development. That's all factored into that 4.86%, correct?
correct. Yeah, any increase in taxable value other than inflation. But to answer your question, yes, that's exactly right. So primarily that would be increase in taxable value from uncapping process, where there's been a divergence of the assessed values and taxable values under continued on your owner tenureship. But the other residual increase to that would be new development net of demolitions and things taken away from the tax base.
Now, obviously, this 4.86% is across the board in all classifications of properties, if you will. Was it broken down like on commercial, industrial, residential? Do you have that broken down?
Yes, I do. So you're right. That's the 4.86 is for taxable value increase is a composite across the entire
Yes.
assessment roll for the entire county. In the equalization report, there is
Okay,
a
all right,
breakdown
okay.
for the various classes of property. If you want to delve further into the report, the information is there contained within the report. And once again, all classes of property realize a net increase. And of course, that varies according to the 43 units of government. Some are a little more, some are a little less, depending on the specific economics of each community. But this is speaking in the broadest of terms.
That's great news. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any additional questions? Any additional questions? Well, Scott, we will see you on the 30th.
I will definitely be there and once again be the pleasant deliverer of good news through no fault of my own. My predecessor didn't have that good fortune
Absolutely.
being here during the recession and the financial crisis, but it's my pleasure to serve the commission during economic good times.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Appreciate
Thanks.
that. Thank you. Next item, Madam Clerk.
We are returning to the agenda for item number 2, discussion regarding the status of the corrected 2024 W-2 forms and the handling of any assessed penalties.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, good morning, and good afternoon, Commission Chair.
Okay, please introduce yourself, CFO Wallace, and your team.
Okay. Good afternoon, Chair and Honorable Commissioners. John Wallace, CFO of Wayne County, and I brought my two project managers that's been working on this engagement.
Good afternoon, this is Lakshmi Ghantasala.
Good afternoon.
Lakshmi Ghantasala.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Benny Tober, ACM PMO.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you all for appearing before us today. You did inform us as it relates to the issues that happened, personal issues that delayed you from our last meeting. And you were prepared to address us at full board, but the chair suggested that you be brought back to the committee, and you are here today. So this issue, as you know, has been something that this committee has been asking about. So we definitely want to know specifically as it relates to the concerns that commissioners have been getting as it relates to the delay and the corrected W-2s, but how is the county going to handle the assessed penalties to our employees?
Okay. Again, thank you. Thanks. As always, glad to be here to give you an update. As you know, we hired a third party firm to help us, help Wayne County, reconcile and correct these W-2s from 2024. The good news is that during this process, we first wanted to focus on the year at hand, which we focused on 2025, and we got those out, and those are correct, and all the things we learned along the way, we got corrected in 25. So the go forward is intact. For 24, that work started in August of 2025, and they just recently wrapped that up. And I sent out a note indicating that we started to mail out the recorrected W-2s. I think it was last week, August 6th and 7th, and most of those have gone out. There's a few updates that we still need to get out related to that, and I'll let the team speak to those specifics. As it relates to penalties, we're going to take the position that we're going to address penalties for employees on a case-by-case basis, just because, we just don't know if, the penalties will be related to something that, we may have submitted them. So in those cases, we'll have a email or contact information that those concerned employees can, contact, payroll, and we will, take a look at the paperwork and support that's provided, and we will address and, make the employee whole at that time if need be.
Okay, so is there any, or have you heard, because I've received a few emails regarding a couple of errors or oversights within those forms that corrected
Yes.
that corrected W-2s. So how are you addressing that? And is there a hotline or some communication or some, I guess, guidance and direction to connect individuals who may have questions about the corrected W-2s?
Yes, and I'll let my team get into the weeds on that. But of the group that got mailed out, approximately half of them, had no errors, and so there's no need to address those. But for the others, I'll let either Lakshmi or Benny address those details.
Yeah, thanks, John. So yeah, as John mentioned, there are about half out of the 2,757 that we had mailed out on April 6th and 7th that needs some additional corrections. So the team is currently reviewing and re-reviewing to be doubly sure what exactly needs to be corrected. And we will be sending out communications to those folks in the next few days, stating exactly what it is that is incorrect. And there'll be email communication. There will also be regular snail mail communication to those folks. Additionally, to answer your question about a hotline, there is an email address that was included in the email communication that was sent out. And for all of these folks that we are going to be sending out additional corrections, we will again include in the email that, hey, this is the email address to send your questions to. And it's primarily the payroll team that is answering the questions that we are receiving from folks. So we are planning to have all of this reviewed and doubly confirmed in the next couple of weeks or so. And then at that point, all the appropriate mailings will be done.
Thank you. Questions from committee members? Commissioner Clemente.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I happen to be one of those that received, unbeknownst to me, I had no idea. I thought people were getting notified that they were one of them, and it came. I have not looked at it. I don't do taxes, and I do worry that other people are going to have, when we get things in the mail, sometimes they don't look like they're real, and we might ignore emails or mail. So I think it's very important that a lot of communication is sent out. I missed what you said. You said that something about communication will be sent by email in another form.
And snail mail, regular
Oh,
US
snail mail. Okay. Okay. All right. So this will be like, okay, if you took this thing and shredded it, you really need to look at it.
Right.
So saying that with the penalties on a case by case basis, I am going to have to go back to my preparer, which is going to cost me money. So what kind of documentation am I going to need, or other people are going to need to prove this case by case? What if it's nothing, but they still charge you $100 to look at it? What if it's I owe more money, not just me, but other people. So if you could just go into a little more detail so that
Sure,
I have,
sure.
in case anyone calls our offices,
Yeah, just through
it will be very important for
Sure.
us to know this.
Yes, through the chair. I mean, we would just ask that they, bring, obviously their W-2, and any other, tax information that they got either from them preparer, or if you use one of the, self-service, software packages, just bring that information in, and we will look at it and, and go from there. Just given, confidentiality and, things like fraud and different things and impersonators. It is just such sensitive information. We don't really necessarily want to deal with email and things of that nature and just phone calls. So,
Okay.
yeah.
And then if there is monies owed to people, how will that take place? How will they receive their money once you decide that they did have a penalty and
Through the chair, we would either, add it to their check as an adjustment to, pay, or if we decide to do a separate accounts payable check disbursement, we'll do it that way. We just haven't gotten that far to determine which the best way to do it at this point.
okay.
Yeah.
Without taxes.
Yes, correct.
Thank you. Any additional questions?
But can I just one thing to add, through the points you brought up, with regard to the mail, there's a process where we're going to go back and make sure we add the 2024s back into Oracle.
That is correct.
And so that will be the official record. So if anyone would have any questions, they will see. But there's a process to get the mail out first, and then there's a process to update Oracle with that data as well.
Yeah.
Just like a follow-up, Mr. Chair, if you don't mind. So what is the number of people that were affected? Is there multiple rounds that are going to go out of mail? Because you said the first 2,000 something or other.
Yeah. So they were a total of 2,757 that had some correction or the other on their original W-2 for 2024. Out of those, there are about 1,000-ish or so, let's just say half of them, that we, after additional reviews, believe would need a corrected W-2C. Yeah. A lot of those folks, because we are double reviewing, triple reviewing right now, a lot of those folks do not have major adjustments. But there are a couple hundred that I would say have adjustments, like material adjustments. And that's what we are double confirming right now. And then once that review is done, we'll send out one more W-2s C or corrected W-2C, if you will. And that should be the end of it. That's why we are double confirming. So we won't be sending multiple. So it's just one more mail, one more W-2C corrected, if you will, for about 1,000, I would say, give or take.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you. Commissioner Baker McCormick.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So again, you said the total number was 2,000.
757.
Okay, 757.
Yeah.
Okay. So we brought in a third party to correct our new system. Is that what was just said?
No.
To correct this?
Yeah, through the chair. Well, through the chair, just as we talked about just during this transformation, to Oracle, also, adding the complication that we went live with our payroll system in the middle of the year. There was some complexity, and we just didn't have the butts and seats to ultimately do that.
Excuse me. I'm going to take a privilege of the chair. There's an action item before we lose a quorum I want to take. And so we'll come back to this discussion. Madam Clerk.
May we have a vote on the agenda item number 3? That's the 2026 Wayne County Equalization Report.
Motion is in order.
Support.
Been moved and supported. Okay. Roll call.
Commissioner Scott?
Yeah.
Commissioner Baker McCormick?
Which one? This is the equalization report. We're voting on equalization report. It's a motion to recommend approval to the full board. Yeah, equalization meeting. Yeah.
Okay. So Commissioner Scott?
Yeah.
Commissioner Baker McCormick?
Yes.
Commissioner Marecki?
Yes.
Commissioner Clementi?
Yes.
Commissioner Anderson?
Yes.
Vice Chair Bajun?
Yes.
Chair Killott?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. We'll resume the order of the day, and you may continue with responding to our Commissioner Baker McCormick's
Okay, through the chair, continuing. Yes, so we did hire a firm to assist with, the detailed reconciliations, as well as, making sure the various deductions, et cetera, were correct, and, in this sort of massive process. And so, yes, we did.
Okay, and
Yeah.
what was the cost for the third party company to reconcile?
Even though the PO is for an amount of $475,000, we have spent to date about 350-ish. And there's one last invoice that I do not expect it to be for more than 20 grand. So we still ended up spending about 100K less than what the original PO cost was.
So we'll spend about, I'll just say 350.
Yeah,
We
give it
round it
yeah.
off.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, to correct a new system that caused a problem, right? And I'm just wondering, why are we as the taxpayer paying the 350 instead of the company that caused the error?
No, I don't know if it was the company as it was something, putting data entry, how we put.
Well, yeah, through the chair, it's not a matter of correct, it's a matter of us not having, Wayne County not having the resources or the staff in capacity to do such detailed work at that time. So either way, it's either we need to have the staff or we need to hire somebody to help us get it done. So either way, I see it as being a cost that we were going to have to incur.
Okay,
Yeah.
and I guess I don't understand how we are incurring more costs by adding a system that seemed to me should have caught the errors, because that's why we're getting the system in place. Aren't we putting this new system in place to supposedly save us money?
Yeah.
And I'm just concerned that we continue to spend money on a system that's costing us more money. That's my concern. And I get maybe we didn't have the bodies in place or whatever the issue is to me it's costing us more to have this system than to not, and it's causing us more issues. That's just how I see it when I look at all of the numbers overall. And so are there any insurances in place that once we get this system or a new system up and running, that this won't happen again? And is there a charge to the company for any errors that may come? I won't say will come, may come in the future, so that we don't keep expending and there's some insurances in place. So I don't know if we have, or if we can, moving forward, put some insurances in place, like if you implement this and it causes XYZ issues, then you foot the bill for it, not the taxpayers. That's where I'm trying to get to eventually with this project. I know it's a need for it. I know you have some growing pains with any system, but this is very very painful. So I'm just concerned, very concerned. So
Okay.
thank you.
But through the chair, I can just comment on one thing just to clear. But again, for the most part, it's not an Oracle issue with some of these errors or most of these errors. It's, it, the how taxes are treated in Wayne County or in this area is not an Oracle specialty, right? They built the system based upon how we told them to build it. So if there's different direction that needs to take place because of withholdings and local taxes and those things of that nature, that's not an Oracle structural issue.
And I get what you're saying, they don't do that particular portion, but it seems like if they're coming in and saying, this is what we have skills in, this is our expertise, then, oh, by the way, if you're doing anything tax related, that's not our expertise, but we want you to, on the front end, be able to handle whatever comes out of it. You know what I'm saying? It just seems like that was something that and a lot of the other eras that are coming up and problems, it seemed like they could have been caught on the front end because they are the experts and they've done this in other counties and places that could have been caught beforehand. That's my point. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. And with that, Commissioner Baker McCormick, thank you for those questions. And so as you move forward, of course, you're going to take into consideration the questions and concerns from this table, and I'm sure many commissioners have communicated as well. But I want to thank you for joining us today. And if there's no further questions as relates to the W-2s, I want to thank you for joining us today and keep us updated.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item, Madam Clerk.
Item F, such other matters as may be properly submitted before the committee.
I know of none. Next item.
Item G, public comment.
At this time, I'd like for you, Madam Clerk, to open up the mics for those who are joining us virtually by Zoom. If you would like to address this committee, to please raise your hand or indicate that you would in the chat, as well as whether or not anyone present. If you're interested in addressing us, please let it be known if you're present in this room. Madam Clerk?
Chair, there are no hands on Zoom, no one on the telephone, and no emails were received.
I see no one asking to be recognized in the room at this time. Public comment is closed. Next item.
Item H, adjournment.
It's been moved by Baidoon, supported by Mareki to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed,